Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Timberpunk 2 hard mode playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction here. Let's hit pause, because we have a lot to talk about based on your comments, based on what I think is probably going to be necessary for us to survive past episode 2. Let's dive right in. A whole lot of you have left some really helpful comments about things that may or may not happen in the future on this map, alternate versions of the map that other people are playing or that you have played, and how things are different. So I think it is going to be necessary for us to take a very close look at everything we possibly can before I unpause and continue. So if you don't want to see that, skip to the timestamp on screen now, and you'll skip all of that, and we'll just dive right back into the actual playing. But for the sake of this playthrough, we absolutely must 100% do a deep dive here. So game is paused. One of the main reasons why: there's no food. We have hungry beavers, and we do in fact have kohlrabi that can be harvested, but it's near the end of the workday. They have that, 50% debuffed working speed because they're hungry. And, things aren't great. But we do have food to keep them alive. The other main problem that we have that is immediately pressing is this breeding pod does not have enough berries to continue. And we do not have any berries at all. So what do we do? How do we solve that problem? Well, we have to have berries. And they take minimum 24 days to grow once we plant some. We cannot plant any because we do not have a forester. We also don't have the science to make a forester. So what we have to do is we have to find an alternative source of berries, which I know I've replied to a couple comments on the previous episode saying, oh, there's berries, we can find them. But we need to locate those. We need to be absolutely sure we can actually do that. So if we use our friend, the tab key, we can take a look and see that, yes, there are 74 berries here, but they are underground. We will have to demolish a blockage to get down there. Or, theoretically, we don't have to demolish a blockage. We could just get rid of a tree. But on this landing here, there's some thorns. We probably should go ahead and get somebody on that. And then avoid using these berries until we absolutely need to, because this is going to be probably our easiest chance to get those for a long, long time. We want to make sure that we can get these into the breeding pod. So that's the closest berries. But are they the most convenient to get to? Well, there's more berries down here. How do we get down there? Oh, well, that's actually not that hard at all. And since we're going to have a drought, it's probably going to be easiest for us to do that at this exact moment in time. There's also kohlrabis. Oh, there's 59 gears down here. And guess what there also is? Oh, boy. Well, that's going to be a problem. Fortunately, it's dormant, and we don't know when that's going to go off. But, you know what? I think I said something about these last episode, but, going back and forth between different series does tend to wipe my memory to a certain extent. This will be a good drought project to get to these things and then figure out what else we're getting to here. These natural overhangs we don't want to get rid of. But I think we have the gears here. That's really good. That's actually very helpful to have the 59 here. I've heard that it is possible to detonate these before they go off, or disable them, or something to the effect. I've not tried it, and obviously I don't have the means to do that today because I don't have the science to get tunnels and all that stuff. But I'm going to have to look into this and see if this is even going to be worth doing, and if it's still going to, explode all of these things. Because this is at the bottom of the map. I cannot tunnel under it to make it disappear. So that's the situation down here at the very bottom until I get all the way over here, where we can follow this way off to the edge of the map. That's where a whole bunch of stuff is draining. There was a comment saying that we're going to not want to have the beavers walking on the wheels all the time because we're just pumping excess water into the void, which that's where that's going. We got water down here. But that is the bottom that we already have access to this way. So honestly, I think things probably aren't as bad as some of you are assuming they are. All else equal. But the map has many surprises, and unlike the fun kind of surprises, I think these are ones that could be game enders. So, we're on layer 0. I told you this is going to take a while. Again, feel free to skip back to the timestamp that was at the beginning of the video. But we got to make sure that we know what's happening here. So, layer 0, just scanning left to right. We've got this whole thing down here. We don't have access to right now, but that is going to be a good thing for us to get into. These are already rations, actually. We don't have to put them in a food factory. Logs, metal parts. But this is probably going to fill up in the first bad tide because that is a bad tide drain. No, that goes the other way. That can't possibly be anything but a trap. I'm kind of afraid, but yeah, so we've got bad water here. Anyway, back down to layer 0. I think we've already kind of identified most of the danger that's in the central area. We do have, it's easier to see this way. Got a little bit of stuff we can. What is happening here? My word! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right. That is that's going to cause problems when that goes off. Oh my god. All right. Yikes. This is enticing though. Bot stuff. Yeah, metal blocks. No, I don't want that unpaused. Stop that. Okay, well. Like I said, we've got a lot of surprises. All right, layer 1 probably should only be focusing on what's in this immediate area, but like I feel like, you know, sometimes people post stuff in the comments where like, oh, you really got to watch out for this, and it ends up like not actually being that bad, or they could be, you know, mistaking it for something else. But I don't think this is a map I want to take a lot of chances with that, to be perfectly honest with you. Got water. Oh, there's coffee over here. More water, more stuff. We can't really get to this without getting all of this metal out of here, so we might as well just not even consider this to be a thing. I do know, because we had that one colony review with the person who conquered Timberpunk 2. That's actually why I have this version of this map installed. But we already knew these were here, the geothermal things. But using these is going to be a hassle, so let's not get too excited about that just yet. Seems like most of this is honestly fine. The biggest danger is probably where we have those bad tide drains, and we've got the, you know, the unstable cores that are going to explode and give us all sorts of problems. But, you know, all things considered, I don't feel like, without knowing when they're going to go off, that we can really kind of order these in terms of what's going to be the worst possible thing that can happen as soon as it possibly can happen. I've been told that getting out of the crater here is probably a good idea to have as a priority as fast as possible. This is bad water that is going to, with any further increase, top over here. And then that's going to spill in. So we know first sign of a bad tide is going to be bad news. So we need an escape route. We need to find one of those. We do have this staircase here that we did talk about. I haven't finished building it. But getting up here isn't really a great spot. But probably is about as good as we're going to get for the time being until I can actually, you know, research more stuff. But the biggest problem now is we don't have berries. We cannot farm them yet. And we can't really do much else in terms of technology. So again, let's make sure we actually look at stuff. So I need to trace where bad water is coming from and going down here, because that is our most immediate threat. We've got right here, coming down this way, that is coming out of a regular seep and a bad water seep. we got this thing that is a huge radius, and it's going to add this bad water source to this thing here. But it's dormant. We don't know when it's going to go off. We don't know how long it's going to take once it's announced. But I'm pretty confident that's going to make this almost completely unusable. But by the time we get a warning for this, hopefully it's not in like Cycle 2 or Cycle 3. Knowing this reputation this map has, can't be sure. Outside of that, I don't see much more that can come in this way without, you know, a whole lot of other stuff going horribly wrong. We've got bad water coming in here that comes out of this bad water seep. And that goes down to here. This seems like it's just slowly filling this up. And this will never shut off except during a drought because there's nothing blocking it in. And at some point this is going to overflow, and then at that point, this is a water source, but you know what? I bet it's actually a negative source, seeing how this hasn't flooded. I don't know if this is going to become overwhelmed when some other stuff goes off, but I do know a lot of map makers like to put negative sources in. And I kind of want to avoid going into dev mode to, you know, decode what's where, because that ends up just giving you spoilers about when the cores are going to go off. And it's much more fun and, quite frankly, makes better content when I don't know. So I'm going to try to avoid that. This unstable core is going to obliterate this little bit here, but shouldn't really, you know, cause any more of this upper level to go away. I do remember this from one of the other playthroughs I'd seen where people would put like houses in here, and that ends up being fine on this side as well. But that covers most of that. This right here is very connected to a bunch of this stuff. So that's connecting here and here. Maybe not quite. No, it does. Okay. Oh no, there was a... Yeah, okay, there's a bad water source there. I had that turned off so I could actually see. So that's just going to go, except for during a drought. We've got this up here is just kind of a drain. Yeah, there's nothing up here that can actually cause any issues. This... Wait a minute. This doesn't have a radius on it. Oh, okay. No, that's going to open up this cavern to the top. Which I guess if you were going to, you know, get up here early and have these aquifers going would be very frustrating when that all drains out. However, we've got bad water up here right now, and that's a source. So I guess, yeah, that's another avenue by which you could have bad water flood your whole colony. Let's see. Same kind of deal there. To get into this area, increase the flow and cause this to be another pain point. This source is... Okay, that source comes out here. And then that just kind of goes down there. It could, in theory, make its way over here if it overtops this natural dam, which I guess is possible, but I don't really see a really convenient means for that to happen. Did I already talk about... No, I did not talk about this. Okay. So this... Okay, this connects to a whole lot of stuff up here, and that is... No, there's no mechanism to stop that from flowing that way. This water source could... actually, almost certainly is, because it's not wet, a negative source. It probably should be assumed that any of those sources that are not wet are negative sources. And that also flows out that way, and then this, I think, just goes off the edge of the map. No other means to, you know, flood anything. This is also a nice little hidden cache here, with some soybeans and then water as well. And that's actually reasonably accessible. Oh, okay. So it seems like, you know, the map is really hard, but it's not completely heartless. Unless the timing of all of these unstable cores and dormant bad water things are really, really insidious. But that's where my knowledge ends, and I can't really, you know, do too much more than that without it being a really, really, really big problem. So, I think it's time to move on. Before I unpause again, I do want to try and get a couple more things taken care of. I just got to take a look at my notes real quick. We already talked about the need to get berries. We are going to plant forest stuff. I kind of wanted to do that over here when this was, you know, online. But we don't have the gears. We're in the process of attempting to make the gear workshop. We probably don't need these guys to be running on this if we can just get the 25 gears that we need. But we only have 18 here. We already talked about the 50-something gears that were elsewhere. Those aren't exactly easy to get to at this exact moment. Not impossible, though. Just one of those things that would not be a fast thing. I think for the sake of where we are now, it's probably going to be to our benefit to come down here during this drought and just get those out. So let's make that preparation right now. I say trying to put a path in. There we go. We do have to build a staircase. That requires planks, so that maybe isn't the best thing for us to be spending our resources on now unless we can justify it. I'm going to leave this closed off. Wait a second. Oh, I can't get down here. I can't do that because these are... Natural overhangs are seriously going to block me from walking under it? Alright, well... That fundamentally alters my entire idea for this. Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to get in here unless I can blast down from above, which... honestly, not a great idea. Yeah, there's literally no way else to get down here without removing these. And I don't want to do that. So... That does mean that this blockage now, kohlrabies at least will give us some more food. If I don't connect this to the path, they're not going to know that it's here. So I probably should avoid connecting that to the path, but I also think this blockage is going to be super important, so we'll just take care of that. Not going to lie, that kind of, you know, kind of takes the wind out of my sails to a certain extent. But we're going to get this figured out, and remember, we're not unpausing until I'm absolutely sure we're going to be able to, you know, get some good stuff done. We do have planks over here in the quantity necessary, almost, to get most of the rest of the gear workshop done, while also letting this be what it needs to be with the help of the power wheel. We don't, however, have a way to get over here without building some sort of bridge or these platforms. I saw a couple people in the comments say, why in the world didn't you just, you know, build a warehouse here and then put a power shaft on top of it? If you've watched enough of my videos, you know I really don't like doing cheese, which I absolutely consider this cheese. So if I'm going to have to do cheese to survive, I'm going to do hard cheese. Like building a barracks with 40 logs instead of using 3 or 4. Just... know that's my personal value set. Feel free to play however you want. It's not going to bother me. But if I'm going to do something the hard way, or the easy way rather, then it needs to be the hard way to do things the easy way. That's just how my brain goes. We already decided this wasn't going to be a problem because we already got the metal blocks, most of them out of there. I am concerned that this one's going to go off. But we don't know when, and when it does... This natural dam is going to end up funneling all that bad water through here unless we open this blockage. But my thought behind not opening this blockage is that it's also going to let bad water get down into these tunnels here. Oh, that's it? Just that one right there? I thought it connected. Okay, well that's actually not nearly that big of a deal then. Yeah, the level's not going to be high enough for that to be a problem here. It just is going to end up flooding this with bad water at some point, unless we can do something else. I don't know. And part of me is always like, it's not going to be that bad. And then I've been through enough of this to know that, yes, it is probably going to be that bad. And I shouldn't even bother trying to, you know, get this bad water source done. Just get these beavers the heck out of here as fast as possible. But for now, we're not going to have beavers to do that with if we don't fix, again, going back to the very beginning, fix our breeding pods, fix our berries, fix all of that stuff, and that is I mean, it's not going to be impossible. It's just going to be pretty hard. So I'm trying to do my best to try and do this without it being a wipe in episode 2. And without it also being an extremely unentertaining video for me just sitting here talking the whole time. But, you know, I don't ever take stuff out. I'm just trying to think on my feet here. I don't know, like, I'd love to ask you guys for real-time advice, but that's not how these videos work. So the only thing I can do now at this point is just soldier on ahead. So let's select a spot for the, not the lumber mill, the forester. When we have the science to place it, I think, I mean, it's kind of far away. I need it to be a spot that's not within the next, you know, cycle or 2, since it's going to be 24 days. That's not going to get obliterated by bad water. There is going to be water in here, but it can't happen until these are all finished. And I know it's not going to be a fast process to get, so I really should not bank on it going there. I feel like this area right here is going to be the safest bet among very unsafe bets, to be perfectly clear, for this to be a viable thing. Alright. That's just what I'm going to have to do. I may end up regretting doing this way, but we will see what happens. I just need space to plant reasonably safe berries. So, unplant, not remove, but just unplant kohlrabies here. This is 69%. In all honesty, it probably needs to also just be areas over here to do this with. I really should be hoarding these things, I guess. I can... Oh, no, I can't pre-place these until I have a... Yeah, okay. I was going to say I'll pre-place them, then I'll just plunk the thing down. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplant... I might as well just plant a ton of berry bushes because maybe some of them will survive. This area over here is going to have to be berry land. That's just going to have to be what it is. And then maybe we'll put the forester, well, wherever I can stick it. We'll be okay with what we've got over here for the farmhouse. Probably should have another farmhouse, but we don't really have the manpower to do that. Campfire is objectively not that important, so I'm going to lower it. Housing is also objectively not that important. It's still kind of important, but if I'm going to direct construction resources to anywhere, it probably needs to be getting out of the thing here, getting this relic taken care of so I can have 200 science. It can probably be faster than having these guys sit here all day. And then moving on from there. So yes, 24 minutes into this recording. We're finally going to hit unpause. We're going to... I really hope this goes well. We're going to enter the drought. And we'll, if it's a super long one, we might actually be completely screwed regardless. But we're going to get it done. And hopefully we will be okay. I need to have planks so I can get down here to get the kohlrabies. Maybe this should be the most important thing. I've got one worker here, I've got 2 here. We have a couple more hours in the day, maybe to make a couple of planks, and then we're going to have to move on to something else. I know we also have this to get gears. That's not the biggest priority right now. This one probably needs to be so we can get downstairs and take this out, which I also should probably prioritize. Okay! Let's make this 20 hours, just so we can, you know, actually, hopefully get some other tiny bit of work done. I mainly need them to harvest more kohlrabies so I don't have all of my beavers completely starved and unable to do real work. So, oh, I've got a contaminated beaver, I forgot. Well, I have an unwell beaver. I don't have a contaminated beaver. Okay, 4 days. 4 days. It's just the builder who's unwell, and that's the only one who's going to be doing that, so I guess that is, to a certain extent, allowable. This can now be Okay, we've got 33 days. Yeah, this can now be paused because this isn't going to work in a drought anyway. And yes, some of this was flowing off the map. We did establish that. We just have, you know, all sorts of fun happening here. Thankfully, it's still going to be okay to leave this as it is. All right. Okay, still need planks. At least we are making planks, even if they are working. Oh, actually, no, this one doesn't have the minus 50. Okay, what about this one? No, not even at work yet. All right, well, you know, that's not great. At least we're still making science. Okay, which one of these bad water seeps is going to turn on? This one that I can't even see. But that is pretty inconvenient having this in here. The 200 mango fruits is very tempting to try and, you know, keep a hold of. Not going to worry about it. Gotta have our eyes on the prize. So this is, yeah, that's still the same beaver doing that stuff. So carrying a plank, 3 planks. Okay, so that's good. Getting down here is going to be a very, very good idea. At least we are still making all of that. This one, yeah, it needs another 18 planks. I'm going to say the gear workshop is probably going to be more important to get... No, that shouldn't be a top priority. But it needs to be a higher priority than the aquifer drill because this can't even be built until we have gears in the first place. Once we have this, then they get other food that's not berries. I just need the 30 science so I can put in what I need to put in over here with the forester. Okay, still pumping okay. You know what? There's another thing somebody mentioned in the comments is that I didn't have any tanks over here. And that was, you know, causing me all sorts of problems. I will build a tank here. That, you know, probably is a pretty important thing. I've got extra beavers. There's no more bad water, so I'm going to get that back up to 3. I want to make sure they can stay in this so I can still get my science. Okay, we do have a plank here, so I know they can get that taken care of, and then when we get down here, then this is hopefully not going to take too long. 42 kohlrabies is going to give us a decent bit, but we're going to start having a bunch of problems when these beavers start dying off. So I think it's going to be to our benefit to build... I might have to, you know, metagame here just a little bit with the breeding pods and just selectively pause them if we want to try to survive. We're probably not going to do a whole lot of 2 and 3 times speed here just so I don't get completely screwed on, you know, everything. But I am going to try to keep this moving as much as I can. Just have to kind of be smart about what we're focusing on here. I will always go 3 times speed through the night if I can justify doing that. Okay, next day. We've got 3 days left. They were down here working on this. Allegedly, it still says 0%, so maybe not. Okay, 0 progress whatsoever on here. We do have 3 beavers. As soon as I get 30 science, I am going to put another... actually, this is already the minimum priority. I might as well just make that the 4th, and then I can just pause one of these. I just need that 30 science so I can start making the forester. And I know you have to have planks to build the forester. So that will get a jump in priority. We can go ahead and research this. If I just place this right here, right now, this seems like this is honestly fine just to get this operating. Is it the best location? Absolutely not. Is it where it's going to go? Absolutely yes. Biggest priority there. Let's pre-place some blueberries. Just because, well, you know how that's going to end up going if we don't. Might as well just go for broke on all of this. It's pretty much the only thing I can do. Is just start placing as many blueberries as I can actually reach. Okay, how are we doing? How are we doing down here? What do you mean it's too far from the... Tell me what's wrong with this picture. Okay. Well, that was really stupid. Alright, I'm going to pause this and unpause it just so I can get that extra beaver in here for building purposes. Still nothing going there, but they hopefully can start getting that filled in. Not gonna lie, that's really demoralizing. I thought they had, because this icon was here for the whole, they can't reach it, I thought that meant they were actually, you know, working on it, because I still have it marked for demolition. Anyway. That is a bummer. Still no progress over here because I keep telling them not to do it, which, you know, that's on me. I guess also worth noting, this forester can't really reach any of this land to any meaningful degree at this exact moment in time. Actually, let's pause. Let's think about this without having to be a whole deal. One of the things that 1.1 added, which I know I didn't talk about that in the first episode, but I'm like a week and a half late, and now there's a billion people who make really popular Timberborn videos that get more views than like most of my entire series. So I just figured nobody cared to watch. But we have succulents now, which, you know, objectively kind of useless in most scenarios because it takes 50 days to get 1 drop of water and you have to destroy the plant to get it. But there's a lot of unwatered land on this map, like a tremendous quantity that we're not doing anything with. And these don't have to be tended. So, honestly, there's not really any reason not to build these. Except for, you know, taking time away from whatever the other beavers are going to want to be doing. So maybe, recognizing that, maybe what I actually want to do. I just want to check placement real quick. Okay. Building a forester here instead of here is not going to yield much usable space, so we're not going to do that. But it could be worth, and not obviously not down here, because in 50 days I am absolutely certain this will be a desolate wasteland. But maybe once we move upstairs, so to speak, we can plant some succulents up here. I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, we didn't talk about it. And at least 1 or 2 people brought it up in the comments, and I would be remiss not to mention it to you. So that's on the table. I'm not going to do it right now, but it is on the table. There's also, you know, the other stuff that we haven't done anything with. We've got airlocks we can go through, levees, we've got tubeways. Those aren't new, but a bunch of stuff that we can, you know, usefully integrate if and when we get that far in this series. Just wanted to make sure we brought that up. While we are paused, though. Okay, they're still working on that. Planks are accumulating. This is now accessible. And in theory, this blockage should be serviced sooner rather than later because we have 2.5 days. Okay, these barracks don't need to be built right now. I know it's crushing to see these be paused if you're a beaver, but we really have to get this other stuff done. Or else this is going to be a really short series. So that's my, you know, that's my whole string of thought with this. Again, there's not really a ton more we can reasonably do. We just have to let it be what it's going to be, and that's the way it goes. I can't click on this from here for some reason. Food-wise, water-wise, we're still not looking great, but the beavers are not all starving constantly, which is an improvement. Okay, 36%. As soon as we get into the kohlrabies, everybody can eat for like 2 days, which is going to be great. But I do really need those berries just as soon as all the beavers have eaten, so they can stock these things up, and then I will immediately revoke access to the berries. Just gotta get these planted. Okay, well, don't need to take any more time waiting or talking about that. I just need this thing to be removed before this drought is over, so I don't have any more beavers that are going to be contaminated. The one, that's unfortunate. So I can't do anything about it. We're just going to have to let it be what it's going to be. But one thing I kind of forgot to look for earlier is metal blocks that we haven't already used. Because, you know, to build the whole decontamination thing, we need metal blocks. And we need metal blocks to get the bad water pump, which allows us to get the bad water, which is going to allow us to make the extract and all the... There's so many steps to get to this point that's probably not even worth considering whatsoever until we get to, like, cycle 10 because of how ridiculous this map is. But I want to make sure we bring that up because I know that's going to be a question that gets asked. I see a forester planting some berries. All right. So there you go, folks. 24 days exactly from this exact moment. So probably sometime in cycle 4 or 5, depending on the length of the upcoming droughts, we might start seeing blueberries. All the more reason to keep these, you know, safe. This is accessible as soon as I put this path in place, which means it is kohlrabi time, boys and girls. Come and feast upon the crops dug out of the, you know, hole in the ground. I promise you they're fine. Let's just get these breeding pods all fueled up, ready to go, just as soon as the beavers are fueled up and ready to go. And then I believe... Wait, what was this guy doing? What was I... Oh, okay, building the stairs. That's fine. I do need the gears. That is something we do need. We've got 46 of these kohlrabis. We're all still somehow super hungry. Okay. Well, at this point, they're all going to just do their thing. Probably should build some storage closer to here, but honestly, the other construction is maybe a little bit more important. I know we have this here. That's going to really help. Got some days left. I'm not confident about almost any of this. Okay, we are fully dehungered. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to wait for the start of day 12. Because if they're going to eat, they're going to eat when they wake up, and they're going to eat before they go to bed. If they make a beeline for this thing to eat more kohlrabis, then we're going to know for sure. Okay, now they're thirsty. We have the contaminated beaver. Rest in peace. I can do nothing to help you. You will probably die before you can be uncontaminated. Okay, I hope this is not a mistake. Let's get these berries connected. They will, if there is still a path to the berries when they have the need and they know it's there, even if the path is not connected, there is a way to get to it, they're still going to go there. But as long as I only have this open long enough to have somebody fill up all of these things, then we will be okay. I just really am afraid that they're going to start eating the berries instead of putting these in here. But I'm not going to know until I take a look at... Okay, well, you know, this poor beaver just walked over here because they're bored out of their mind. Don't have any idea what they're really doing, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, planted more berries. Is there anything else they could do with this forester? You know, maybe it's not a great idea to just have this whole thing be planted. But, they can reach it, and this guy has nothing else to do. So that is what I will do. And if they have nothing else to do that's actually worth doing, then why not? Why not plant some succulents? Even if they can't really, you know, do anything with this. It gives them something to do, and there's literally no downside to it if they can't plant any berries anywhere else. Now I just have to be careful with how this is going to be set up. I don't see any berries going in here yet. I know that's like a late at night activity for the beavers who don't have anything else going on. But I do see 2 berries. Is this guy eating berries? If you're eating berries, you're done. It's over. I don't have a farm to send you to, and I almost never do that because I feel like that's, you know, kind of a cruel thing to do. But, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. And this could be the moment that we have to actually abandon our moral compass and, you know, do things that probably 90% of Timberborn players are doing anyway. Okay, so they're carrying berries. That's a good sign. Okay, we got 3 beavers carrying berries to at least further this. We may end up having to do the emergency breeding pod time capsule thing, just as a continuity of population measure. We're going to see what happens. But we know, at the very least, that this drought is over. And we are going to, hopefully, have a decent cycle of fresh water to play with here. Now that this is taken care of, see this? Yeah, these are both going to need both. There's 3 of them. They're going to need constant berry supply, and I am going to have to be very careful how this gets used. Because, again, this is going to take a really long time. This one was the first one to get planted. It's 15%. Like I said, it's going to be cycle 4, cycle 5. Whoa! Oh, no, these were already... 10 days. 10 days. Okay, hold on. What else is this going to expose? I've probably looked at all this already. Okay, well, you know what? If this is exploding in 10 days, something tells me this is probably not going to be too far behind. This... Yeah, okay. Well, we can, should we choose to come in here, just put in some levees to stop this from being a huge problem, but I don't know that we're really going to want to do that. It's probably also going to be a good idea, now that we have most of this looking at least a little bit better, kick this into high gear with the gear workshop, and getting this done. I know we can't get to those other gears, like I said, maybe we could be able to. These 18 will really help us in that regard, should we be able to actually get those done. And now we are going to run into the problem of not having enough beavers to do a lot of meaningful work at most times. We still need science. That's kind of unavoidable. Somebody left a comment that said, hey, you really need to get into geothermal power. Like, buddy, I need science. I got to have the science to do it. But once we have that geothermal power, this gets a lot easier down here. At least for the, you know, amount of time that we're probably going to have left in the crater. That's done. They're in the process of getting that relic, which is going to get us the science we need to have a geothermal generator, engine, whatever you want to call it, which is 30 planks. Okay, I'm going to have to disconnect this stuff down here because there is now bad water. There's a beaver in here? You absolute ding-dong. You've been eating our berries. But I can't kill you. So those kohlrabies are cut off. We have 26 still up there. I guess that's fine. Oh, of course. They can still somehow reach this because that was their thing they were already working on. Oh, don't get another beaver contaminated. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I also can't really wait for this. Don't get contaminated. Don't get unwell. Okay. Nobody else comes over here. Can we make that distinction here? Let's get these beavers on the power wheel. Get this filled back up because now we have a little bit too much pollution for my personal taste. Okay, I'm going now. It's already down to 1. Alright, when this gets demolished, then I think that's going to be probably a good time to start getting geothermal done. There's a lot going on, and I'm trying not to have this be a horrible mistake. Oh, by the way, this was resolved in the comments, but somebody said, oh, you got corn here, do something with the corn. Like, no, this is not, it's not rations, we can't do anything yet. But just so, if anyone else is curious, that's why I haven't touched this. Because you gotta have a food factory. But make no mistake, when we have the ability to actually build one of these and operate it, we are going to need to just become best friends with the corn. That's going to be our best possible food for maybe the entire rest of the playthrough, because you get 5 for every square every 10 days. After you process it, of course. No, you get 10 per square. You get basically one corn per square per day on average, because a square gives you 2. Yeah, this was not turned on fast enough, and now a lot of these kohlrabies are dead. Not ideal. Definitely not ideal. This guy is planting the succulents, which, you know, that was always allowed. But I may have to pull them off of that, just so that we have the ability to put manpower somewhere else. Also, there's berries over here that we can get to if we're truly desperate. It's not the end of the world yet. It's just not great. Yeah, okay, 18 gears here. See, this is honestly just waiting on planks, and this is probably to the point now where I can justify unpausing this barracks so that we have some ability to have beavers that have a well-being of higher than 1. Maybe just a thought here. We definitely need to get more beavers pumping. We don't really have enough beavers to do much of anything, to be perfectly honest with you. That's only making 79% power because I only have 2 beavers on there. Well, they're not going to be working in that anyway. That's minimum priority. Yeah, I'm just not in a great spot. Okay, so the forester, even though the succulents are, you know, doing succulent things, I think we can safely abandon this. This is still going to take a really long time to grow. Consequences of this exploding are not going to be that dire yet. For now, though, we just really need to have somewhere for at least some of them to sleep. And especially if we can get the well-being up enough where the farmers are not having debuffs for their working speed, then, you know, that'd be great. Well-being 5 is not going to be that easy for us to do. But the -3, if that can just at least go away, then we're going to be most of the way there. That'll get them to 5 when they're not hungry. All about just doing what you can with what you have. It's always what this has been. Okay. Let's triple speed through the rest of this. I would like to try and get through most of the temperate cycle, if not all of it, for cycle 3 before we have to, you know, end this one. But I am just not super confident about a lot of this. I need to get water back in here, because I can always pump it later. I have to be able to get it in here while I still can. Because this has 28 days until that goes bye-bye, and we really need to have something else figured out. Okay, I need another 14 planks for that. I don't think I have... Oh. You know, yeah, that's, okay. I deserve that one. I will admit that I maybe was not as thorough as I should have been in identifying things to acquire resources. Not like I've really had the beavers to do much of this anyway. I'm just going to pop one of these guys here, and then we can get these planks in. Man, that is... I shouldn't say upsetting, because, you know, that's not really an appropriate reaction to something as trivial as playing a video game. But I do feel bad when I, you know, miss obvious stuff, and then people are like, oh, you could be so better at this. 67%. That number's never going to go away. 27%, 28%. They're out of berries. Hydration break time. Okay. Yeah, I had to pause so I could take a drink and not, you know, cough and be unable to actually talk, but we're good. Yeah, we're out of logs now. I need to trim labor, but I kind of can't do that. Without, I realize the irony of having this built this entire time and not being able to use it. It's fine. This beaver is where? Probably on the other side of the map, because that's how this always works. Oh, okay, no, he's got logs. In the interest of survival and recognizing the potency of the situation at hand, I kind of want to just get rid of these inventor huts. I know it's only going to give us about 9 logs each, but that would get us most of the way to having these barracks complete. The planks that I'm about to get here are going to finish the gear workshop, and then after we can start making gears, then this gets closer, and then assuming I can do this without causing a beaver to be completely, you know, destroyed, I can get these 18 gears. That'll speed that process up. There is log stuff over here. It's not going to be impossible for us to get across here with the help of some more platforms, or if I manage to have enough logs, I can do possibly dams or levees, But for right now, this is the cheapest way to do it, and I can't justify having another beaver get infected, so we're not going to mess with that right now. Just gotta do what we gotta do. So all that to say, you know, science right now, short of unlocking the geothermal engine, which I will go ahead and do, just because that's going to be super important later. I'm not that worried about it, and I can always rebuild another one of these at a time where I have the ability to take use of it. I can also, you know, get rid of these reserve warehouses, but I don't know what kind of resources these drop when destroyed, and we can use these for something else if we're truly desperate. So that pile for logs. As for berries, I'm not going to mangrove fruits for a long time, so I might as well turn this into kohlrabi storage and just let them, you know, utilize some of this. Planks here is fine. Logs here is fine. I think we just kind of have to keep on doing what we're doing. But this is going to stop at some point. I think I'm going to have to refill this one more when this gets to about 80%, and then that's going to require I send somebody over here, and that will be the point at which I will have to decide if I want to spend my planks on getting across this or not. Because I will have access to 7 more planks here. And this already has almost all the planks it needs, which means I can justify actually building a pair of or 3 platforms, depending on how we want to do this. Shortest distance without having to demolish... I'm sorry, I've not been able to stop having dry mouth while talking. Water is good for you, kids. I say to my audience of not kids. This is going to be probably our best bet. To just put this here. I can probably also justify just clear-cutting this whole thing. It's just going to be the easiest way to do it, honestly. That can be on the side over here. But yeah, that's... it is what it is. I never claimed to be a genius. Please don't ever assume that I actually know what I'm doing. I just somehow end up doing this. Okay, day 3. No warning on day 3, which is good. That means we have day 3, day 4, and day 5. So at the earliest, we'll get a drought or bad tide. Please don't be a bad tide on day 6. Okay, you see what just happened here? This went over the natural dam. That means I can have 3 beavers back. And of those 3 beavers, I'm going to put 1 in the deep water pump. I'm going to allow one of them to be a builder. And then probably the other one's going to end up going in this gear workshop when that is finished. Because I don't need to be pumping extra water out of here if I can help it. I don't need to waste it. Yeah, there we go. Just keep that filled up. And I know these beavers are... Oh, they're coming over here without... they're doing it without having the need to get over here. All right, that's now paused. I can't justify doing that. I just need them to build this platform without going in the water. Just please, can you do me that kindness? I do have 1 beaver in here. I've got 1 in here making gears. That's good. Now the power consumption of this is extremely suboptimal. I do realize that. Oh, we're at 94%, and it doesn't have to be restocked yet? Okay, all right. That's good because we need more beavers. We need to keep that thing going as much as we can. Getting the rest of these trees. I hopefully did not mark that. I did not. Good. Just need them to do that one next. Now that I can pick it. This is another one of those that doesn't have a range on it. But when that goes off, I think it's going to expose... Yeah, that's going to expose this to be flooded, which that's almost certainly a negative source. That is going to be... Yeah, that's... Oh, okay, that's going to flood this whole tunnel here. But that's dormant, so, you know, it's fine for right now. This is 96%. How close are you to not being contaminated anymore? Oh, you're never going to be uncontaminated. Ah, okay, well, but still going to consume food, still going to consume water. Is it time to create the farm? I ask the audience, who almost certainly is going to be overwhelmingly in favor of creating the farm. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm gonna have to just do it. So there you go. We'll call it the farm upstate. Not upstate, there you go, spell it correctly. We are this feels so bad. We are gonna have to just, you know, automatically, I hope I don't have 10 contaminated beavers ever, but we're gonna have to just, you know, send them on in. So there you go. That beaver now belongs to the farm upstate and will live out the rest of his miserable days. Broke, homeless, starving, and thirsty. And infected. What a horrible way to die. Moving on. We cannot spare the charity at this exact moment in time. Okay, day 4. Okay, well at least it's a drought, not a bad tide. What we will want to do now, I've got -7. Yeah, I was really hoping to have this done before the next drought. At this point, that's not going to happen unless something goes horribly correctly. This takes 3 hours for 1 gear. We have 3 days. It's an 18-hour workday. This isn't even running at half speed. If I can't get over here, then that is absolutely not happening. But this is 18 gears, so I theoretically only need to make 7. If I can justify getting over here, or if they can finish this platform first, then maybe that's doable. We don't have to worry about this until this has at least 5 gears in it. Just to make absolutely sure that there's no more gears I can access without it being a whole thing. Yeah, I'm not seeing, at least in any remotely accessible thing. I know this says 17 gears. However, that is way down under here, which I cannot access. In fact, I don't even really have a way to get into it that does not involve going through this bad water waterfall. So that should hopefully satisfy everybody's curiosity there. I did get the baby beaver. Oh, so we have 1. This is at 0%, this is at 60, and this is at 39. I really probably shouldn't wait to have this refilled, but the rate this is going, I think we're going to have to not really worry about that. I need to have enough gears to make into planks, I need to have enough planks to use to make stuff, and I'm about to get 7. So if I connect that, assuming I don't have any active construction projects that are going to sap those, that should allow me to finish this and this, get me across here, so that I can actually, you know, get this taken care of. Because I know I have to get rid of this, I have to get rid of this, I have to go get those. If we want to send beavers over here while we can actually get across, then I could also do all these logs. I don't think I want to worry about that. How close are we on this? Okay, not even halfway. Okay. I told you it was going to be cycle 4, probably cycle 5 at the earliest before we have that. 26 days. This is going to, most importantly, not destroy any berries, but it's going to kill our ability to get water out of this area. And in the process, not actually open this up to anything else. It's just going to make this into a pool that can't be refilled unless you have water coming in from somewhere else, which is probably not happening. So we might only get 1 berry harvesting out of this, which means we have to have berries growing somewhere else as soon as we possibly can. And that's part of what this is supposed to be, assuming they can actually ever get that finished. But yeah, it's, I mean, we have kohlrabies, and we do have some cassava starting up. As soon as we have power, we can actually get going on a fermenter, and the cassava's obviously a much better type of food. But now we've reached the hour mark here, so it is, you know what? Okay, that's injury, not a tooth issue. even so, I should put one of those in, and I can't research. I actually can research that. Yeah, you know, medical bed's gonna be really important. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. One beaver here. Okay, I've gotta make some sort of extra effort to get this actually somewhat reasonably done here. 123 water. It's probably more important to get this power wheel activated at the end of the pre-drought cycle. I think it might have to run for a full day. I want this to be as full as possible without overflowing. That's what I'm hoping to get at here. That's almost done. Just the 0 beavers working here is a huge problem. But I need this to keep going. In theory, this is the amount of planks. I already have the amount of planks that I need to finish this. But I'm gonna have to juggle some of the. They haven't even gotten the planks out of here. I'm sorry for what's happening to you, but I'm not that sorry. Minus 32. Good lord. All right. Yeah, you know, we're just we're having a good time. Or we're having a time at the very least. This is hopelessly slow. I don't know that we really have much hope of that getting any better whatsoever. I think that beaver died. Okay. Yeah, I gotta take them away from something. But I hate to take them away from the gear workshop. I'm gonna have to take them away from the lumber mill. That's gonna give me 2 beavers, which is gonna allow me, hopefully, to get somebody in this thing. That's paused, that's paused. I really can't get them out of the farmhouse. But for the sake of what we're trying to do, I think I'm gonna have to pause the farmhouse for just a tiny, tiny bit. So I can get some builders. Get this prioritized. I got my my 7 planks over here. Because, as you know, as important as the barracks are, it's not mission critical to get that done. This is going to be, at this point, kind of a futile effort. But there is no harm in trying to get something done, even if it's not going to be the perfect result. Cannot forget to get beavers on this before this is all said and done. Reminder that we do still have some food under here, and this is still viable. We just have to be able to, you know, police it. Come on, beavers. Come on, beavers. You know you can do it. All right. Do I have an extra storage that I can actually do something with? This is going to have to be for cassava storage so they can actually, you know, do something with this. Don't go that way! Are you stupid? Use this. Use this. I know why you picked this, because this is closer, but you are just really dumb. You're so dumb. This is the same one that was still contaminated? Why was it not? It didn't show as contaminated. Oh, because I had clicked on this district. That's why. All right. I thought we'd gotten another beaver contaminated. All right. At the very least, this is finally connected, which means I can get this lumberjack flag going, and then I can get this removed, and then I can get this set of 18 gears brought in here. Oh boy. So this guy is toiling away, making gears extremely slowly. You know, the timeline on this actually might end up working. But I am not feeling super optimistic about it. This lumberjack flag can no longer do anything. Get that thing paused. I'm going to have to get these guys taking food out. Yeah, because we got our 70 berries here, which means this can get refilled. I got 57 kohlrabi. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to have to let this be what it's going to be. All right, let's get this path connected immediately. This is now part of our inventory. Got 18 gears. This needs another 20. And this one is in progress. You know what? We may actually get a tiny, worthless, insignificant quantity of water out of this before we have this drought. Okay. I should not be this excited about this. Yeah, that's not great, because now I've got to turn this power wheel on. which means generally you don't want to pause water pumps if you don't have a lot of water, but, you know, desperate times calls for desperate measures. Let's just let these guys do what they've got to do. We got 1 day left. 1 day more. That needs to probably all be completely paused until we can get that as close as we possibly can. Alright, actually, let's check the timing on this. Because this has 9 gears. I'm about to put another 14, which means I just need 1 more gear, and this is at 78%. I'm gonna have to have these guys running at it. Okay, oh, well, I don't need 4 workers for building. That's absolutely not something I need. I do need these guys to pump this up as... Now I've got Saturday Night Live in my head. Pump you up. I need this to be as full as it possibly can be. Farm stuff is fine to collect later. That can stay paused. These have been refilled, which is very good. We have 62 berries. This can't work because whoever's working here is not at work. Go to work. What are you doing? Figure your life out. How are you not dead? Just get this as full as you can without spilling over. The second this spills over, you're done. You're going back to your old job. Just no amount of trust on my part here. 82%. 13, and I've got 6. How's that down to 19? No, okay. Is that because they... Okay, they're carrying them. Okay. That's fine. As soon as... Alright, you're done. No more gear workshop. No more power wheel. I just need this to be done. I need this to fill up. Why are we at -2? Why are we at -2? Injury, contamination. That one's contaminated. Doesn't matter. This is still at 19. We are cutting logs, which is good. That's an improvement. I really probably should be keeping these guys in here. Maybe we're okay. Maybe. I just, you know, am really motivated to see this actually working. So yeah, 24-hour work time. That's just the way it's gonna go. You gotta do as much as we possibly can, boys and girls. Okay, 0.3. Yeah, I know you gotta go do what you gotta do. It's gonna be alright. That's about to over... Okay, there we go. That's it. How close are we here? 22, and I don't see anything in stock here. Do I have anybody carrying gears? Okay, you have... Did I get my math wrong? You got 2 gears. You've got 2 gears. This has 22. I thought I had exactly the right number. If I don't, that's going to be a huge, huge problem. You've got nothing. You're already exhausted. You've already given up. Oh, man, if I miss this by 1 gear, that is going to be all manner of problems. Well, it's already overflowing, so I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just do the only thing we can really do. That's all I can, really. 24-hour working day. 24 gears. I swear, I previously had enough to do 25. And I guess that is no longer the case, and that is very annoying. Well, what can you do? What can you do? Can't even finish that. Alright, I got 13 logs there. It's not even enough to get that done. This is really going to be finished during a drought where I can't do anything with it. That is aggravating. The good news, though, is that now that we know this is completely pointless, I don't have to worry about them actually running any of this. Because now I can have them focus on actually, you know, staying alive, which is going to be... That, I'll just take this off of 24-hour days, because who cares? But yeah, that's, it's about the size of it, folks. How long of a drought? 6 days. Okay, so this is where we have to end this episode because this is already too long. But we survived 2 episodes, and we do have some food, we have some water, we have a whole thing we can keep pumping out. 6 days is not going to be the end of the world. But I would be lying to you if I said I was extremely pleased with how this has gone. But it could be worse. It could always be worse. So I do always welcome your comments. Like I said, I read all of them. So anything on your mind about what we're doing great, what we're doing horribly, because I am sure there's tons of that, let me know. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say, hey, you're doing like something really stupid bad and here's how to fix it. Like, that's how you learn. But anyway, I digress. I will look forward to reading some of those because I'm sure you guys are going to have all sorts of fun things to say about this. But I do always want to take time every episode to thank the Beard Boosters and the folks that make this channel possible. Because YouTube is a very fickle business in terms of how it chooses to display videos and whatever ad rates varying, so on and so forth. And the amount of time that I put into trying to make a video every day, quite honestly, cannot be raised any more than it already is with everything else I have going on. So those folks who do contribute to the channel memberships and make it just a little bit more stable, take away any temptation I have to try and consider brand deals for garbage nobody wants to buy or services that are just, you know, objectively not very good. So I'm always going to be thankful for those folks who let us do what we do here the way that we want to do it without having to compromise and, you know, shill stuff that I just really don't think has any value. So it's time for us to, you know, switch gears, go back to the water beavers tomorrow, and then we'll be back in this series on Friday, Saturday, whatever day it is. What day is it right now? I'm recording this on a Wednesday. Okay, you know, time is an illusion. But we'll be back. Hopefully we can make it past 3 episodes. But we're going to have some decisions to make next episode because this has 23 days. This has 4. This is going to go off during the drought. And might cause us some problems. But, again, that's all the time I got for this one. Stay safe, have fun. Have a better day than these beavers are for sure. Especially this one poor guy over here. But, yeah. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.